Hello everybody, my name is Jimmy G. I used to go under the alias Jimmy G TV. That was my previous YouTube channel. And then I did have an account that went under the alias A New Creation because we are new creations in Christ. But I decided to scrap that channel and to start all the way over. You guys might see some of those same videos uploaded onto this channel, but this video that I have for you guys today is just pretty much a story of how it all started, how I actually began my faith journey. So I didn't grow up in a Christian household. There were times where I went to church, like with my grandma whenever I was in town. I remember a friend used to go to a church. I went with him for like youth groups. Then I went with another friend. I went like once or twice with my dad, but I never really connected with it. I knew there was a God. You know, I truly believe God was involved in my life because there were some situations that I was in that I shouldn't have made it out of, but I just never had that connection with him. But I always knew there was something deeper, but I just didn't know what that was. Fast forward, I graduate high school, I graduate college. Even in college, that's when I started getting into certain behaviors that weren't beneficial for me. Of course, college life, I was drinking. I even got to smoking a little bit. Not too crazy, but the seed was planted for that. After I graduated college, I was set to pursue occupational therapy, and then COVID hit. And once COVID hit, everybody's like, what do we do? I found myself in a rut of doing those same behaviors, but it was amplified. I always joke around with my friends, like, this was a point in time in my life where I was a stoner because I was smoking like every day. And I really think it hindered me getting into graduate school a lot sooner. I think it really affected my focus and my motivation. And I remember at the time, my grandma and my mom, they actually questioned if I was still pursuing that. I had a good job at the time. I was working as a paraprofessional and a substitute teacher. It got to the point where they actually had me working as a teacher, basically full-time, salary. That's just a little background, though. What really happened was, in the midst of all this craziness, and me just trying to get my life together, but I'm really coasting. Should I say her name? I'll say her name. We bold and courageous out here. I don't think she'd mind because it's not a bad thing. There was a friend of mine. Her name is Alexis. The seed was planted way back in 2016 when my boy Corey introduced me to her. Different programs, but they were both working and helping out with the women's basketball team at the time. So we talked on and off because when she graduated, she moved, and then she moved again, like towards the end of 2021. That's when we started talking more. She was in Arizona at the time, and she was, working on her program, finishing out with that. I think it was May or June is when she moved back out to Chicago, and then she told me that she started going to church. 2 months prior to that, in March, that's when I found out that I got accepted into grad school. I was like, okay, life is gonna be sweet. I'm gonna get my life together. I'd already decided to stop smoking. Even a stint before that, I stopped, but I picked it back up around my birthday of 2021. But I knew that I had the drug test, and then later on, I realized that I just didn't want to do that anymore. Around July, that's when I found out and decided that I would be moving closer to Chicago, which would also have me closer to where I was going to school at, which is in Naperville, about a 35 minute drive. So when I moved to Berwyn, I'm thinking, okay, everything's gonna be good. Graduate school is gonna be difficult, but you have nothing to worry about as long as you focus on doing that, graduate, get your OT degree, get a job, you set for life, right? In the midst of that, I realized that's when I entered arguably the darkest period of my life. Grad school, it hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, I knew it was gonna be hard, but where my mindset was and my focus was, it hit me like 10 times harder than that. And it didn't help that I really wasn't focused. I wasn't smoking at the time. But my homie Rodney was in Naperville, so I found myself being in Naperville all the time, going out a lot, pretty much every weekend. That's really bad when sometimes you run into your classmates. They would ask me, hey, did you you do your homework for the night, your discussion post? And I'd be like,
it was at this moment that he knew.
that's when you know it's bad. I'm dealing with this dark hole that I'm in. And my friend Alexis, she's actually growing. I remember, just hearing all the amazing things that she had going on, all the community she was fostering and whatnot. I could just feel that light in her. And then that's when she told me, hey, you should come to church. Okay. I said, I'll give it a go. I was interested, but let me tell you guys, I was definitely interested at the time for the wrong reasons. My yes was for the wrong reason. I did that because I had intended on using that to spend more time with her versus actually spending time with God. I would say about a week before I actually went to church was on her birthday, and we went out, and that's when I actually met a group of people from church, the church being Chicago Tabernacle, or as we call CT. That's when I met her cousin Edgar, his brother Michael, and his wife. That's when I met Jackie. That's when I met Terrell. Who else was that night? It was a good amount of us though. Mind you, the night previously, I was out again. But when I went out with these individuals, I felt welcomed. I didn't feel judged. So that made me feel really good. And then I was like, okay, I met a few people from here. They seem really nice. Let me go to church. So I go to church, and I immediately feel warm inside. But again, remember, I wasn't in it for the right reason. So yes, I felt this feeling, but my mind wasn't in the right place right at this time. Man, I wish I could remember the message, but I just remember the aftermath of what happened. I remember going back to my car, and Alexis, she had asked, so how do you feel? And I told her, I got a lot on my mind. I was actually startled because what happened to me, I was laying in the car, just thinking, like, damn, this is crazy. Like, I felt like the message really spoke to me. And like when I had closed my eyes to like kind of rest and take in everything, I felt like my whole life flashed before my eyes. Like, those, every time a Marvel movie starts, it shows like all of the scenes from the movies in one as the Marvel title comes up. That's literally what happened as my eyes were shut. I remember telling her, I said, I can't do this. And that's when she corrected me. She rebuked me in a way. If you want it bad enough, you will do it. I really stuck with me. I continued trying to do it on my own for a little bit, but of course, nothing got any better. I eventually tried again, and when I tried again, that's when things got better. I remember the next time I came, we had a fall fest, and I met even more people. Like, I just met all these people that like were just really cool. And I met my boy Christian. I remember at the time, what really stuck out to me was that's when like my bank, basically my account got hacked. And he was just super helpful, saying, oh brother, if you need help, my dad could actually help you with that. He's a banker. And then I remember a sister, her name was Erica. I just remember her and Jackie praying over me. All of this stuff I was taking in. I really couldn't believe the love I was receiving from the jump. This is when the seed is planted.